SOP by Chennai. Their standard operating procedure, precision, the way they got that chase done. Won by 6 wickets and what was that? 11 deliveries still in hand. Getting those 2 points and going straight on top of the table. They won the toss, remember, put Bangalore into bat. Bangalore got off to a flyer. They were 90 for no loss at the end of the first 10 overs. But then it kind of all went pear-shaped for them. Was it the surface? Was it great bowling? Was it suicidal batting? Was it a combination of all? They got to 156 and Chennai getting there. Look, a couple of hiccups perhaps on the way, but then cool heads prevailing like they do in Chennai, like they do whenever you wear that yellow jersey. Everybody just seems far cooler. And they got there with, as I said, 11 deliveries still in hand. And of course, with 6 wickets. You're watching Cricbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Harsha Bhogle and Michael Vaughan. And to begin, I will ask Harsha, what is common between Michael Vaughan and what Chennai did right now? Should I tell you?
I mean, you didn't even ask me. You were so eager to tell the answer. You could have just said it yourself.
I asked the question and then I said I shouldn't embarrass you also, no, because it's a joke. So how would you know the answer to a joke? That could be anything, right? It's not factual. Maybe you're the king of factual. I'm very
funny. But maybe I am also very funny, sir.
Sir, of course you are. Please tell.
But I think I heard some conversation before we went on air. I think it is something to do with some mediums, gently, slow cook.
No, sir. It was actually to do with what? Like I said, behind him, you can see decanter and Chennai also won in decanter.
I mean, it's great that Michael comes on the program, but if Michael's coming is going to lead to jokes like those, I'm not so sure.
I promise you, I have not tasted any of the beverages that are behind Michael. This is just me sober.
Before Descartes. It's like putting the horse before Descartes.
I like it. You're getting there. That's good. I like to pass on my wisdom to the millennials. And you see, this is happening here right now with our poor jokes. But, well, it's turned out to be a poor joke for Bangalore today. Yes, because they wanted to erase, Michael, they wanted to erase that memory of that 92. This one's perhaps going to pinch even more because they felt like in the first 10 overs of the game, they felt like this was it. Today was their day. Today was their game. And then it just went horribly wrong for the next 30 overs.
Yeah, I think we've got to be honest. You've got a franchise in Chennai who are smart, clever. They know how to play T20 cricket. They've got the experience. They've got the captain who knows how to win, knows how to get his troops in the kind of mindset, in the strategic kind of frame to just play the game, what's in front of them. They're probably the one franchise in the world of cricket that has very few meetings, doesn't use a huge amount of data, and they just play cricket through their eyes and their sense. And it's a very smart way to play the game. I would probably say that the RCB team are a team that have lots of meetings, probably use a lot of data. There's a lot of information in all the players' minds, but they're not calm, they're not smart enough for the whole game. They play great for the first 10 overs, and from that 10-over mark in the first innings, they've just been dominated by a better team. Chennai, I'll be honest, on paper, RCB are very strong in terms of it, particularly in the batting. Yeah. But when you look from 1 to 11, you've got a very capable team in RCB who should be doing better. But then you've got this experience of a machine that just knows how to win and play smart cricket. One smart team, one promising side that doesn't play to its potential. And that's been the case for quite a few years.
Yeah, Harsha, Virat after the game has echoed. I think Virat has echoed exactly what you said after the Bangalore batting effort. I remember you saying they were about 20 short, even if it's a two-pace pitch when the ball gets old. And that's exactly the number that he said right now, 20 short. But I don't know. I mean, the way Chennai has chased this down, you'd think, they could have got another 20 easy, perhaps 30 more as well.
Maybe, but I think they saw how Bangalore batted in the second half and they knew how it's going to be. And that's why I think it was a great toss to win and to chase. Look down that list. Everybody has come out and scored at a strike rate of about 120, 130 at least. Even Moeen Ali, I'll tell you where I think the match changed was in a period of 3 overs when Moeen Ali hit 2 sixes and Ambati Rayudu hit 1 6. And they were just hitting those sixes. Once you hit a 6, you get a 9-10 run over very safely.
Yeah.
Suresh Raina comes in at the end and hits a 6. So they never allowed the game to drift. And I think there was a lesson there for someone like Hasaranga, who's a very good player at international level, but suddenly coming and discovering that this high-level franchise cricket is a different animal completely. So I think that was where the game changed. It was a very, very clever, meticulous run chase. And I just think we don't talk about Rayudu enough. At a crucial stage, he's given you 32 of 22 when you need 60, 65 runs. We just don't talk about him enough, but he's always there.
Yeah, I mean, because we don't meet, right? We can only speak about Rayudu when we're all meeting in 3D. But that's why we don't. But we should talk about him today. We should talk about Rayudu. Remember, he came ahead of... it's Friday night, It's my party night. But yes, Rayudu promoted above Raina. And he seems to be, I mean, not the last few years, perhaps 2019 with that World Cup, a little unfair on Rayudu. It is, Michael, it can happen, right, to players when they deserve to be there. They've been told they'll be there, and then they're dropped. They're not included in plans. You're not told clearly what. You're a little disappointed. You retire. You come back. You do this. It helps then, obviously, to be in a team like Chennai where everybody just kind of calms you down, because otherwise it's very easy to kind of fly off the handle when stuff like that happens to you.
Yeah, but you look at why did they put Rayudu in the position that he got put in? It's because the off spinner was on. And what did he do to the first ball? The off spinner danced down and whacked him before. Again, smart cricket. You've got combinations in the Chennai Super King batting lineup that changes depending on the pitch, depending on who's bowling. MS Dhoni and his team would have realised that Maxwell gets the wicket, he's probably going to bowl again and maybe bowl more than the 2 or 3 overs. He didn't in the end, but that's what would have been in their thinking. So they throw out a right-hander to try and make sure that he doesn't get to that stage. That's smart cricket. That's being flexible with your batting lineup. It's not having egos. It's not having egos who go, I bat at number 3 or I bat at number 4 or I bat at number 5. They're willing to change the batting lineup depending on the pitch, depending on the opposition. And I think Chennai think like they're always thinking, what are the opposition going to do? I think they try and capture him from inside the dugout and try and work out what's in Virat's mind. What's he thinking? What's his next 4 or 5 over of plan? And they will make sure that someone goes out to try and disrupt that plan. That's what smart T20 teams do. And, it's no surprise. I mean, you've got the greatest ever T20 captain. And obviously, I know there was a bit of a commotion when he was put in the mentoring role for the T20 World Cup. Why wouldn't India want MS Dhoni in that mentoring role? It's the greatest decision I think the Indian T20 team has made. You need that mind, you need that brain in and around that dugout, in and around the kind of training zone, just getting into these players' minds of how to play T20 cricket. He just does it without really thinking. He's such a natural at what he delivers, and he seems to get it right pretty much at 95% of the time. He's a master.
Gaurav, look what Michael's saying. I'm just looking on the Cricbuzz app on the highlights. Look what Michael's saying. Okay, here we go. Maxwell to Rayudu 4, Maxwell to Rayudu 6. He's a right-hander clubbing the off-spinner. Chahal to Moeen Ali 6. Hasaranga to Moeen Ali 6. The left-hander's clubbing the leg spinner. And towards the end, Chahal to Raina 4 and Hasaranga to Raina 6 and 4. So they've played it so cleverly. They've always got a left-hander to take on the leg spinner. They've always got a right-hander to take on the off-spinner. I think it was a very clever, calculated run chase. It wasn't a sort of, wow, box office, Christopher Nolan kind of run chase, but it was a very clever run chase.
Precision, like I said when we began, it's it was the precision of a surgeon. The way they did it today, they were very clinical, and they won. And here's the thing: now, I mean, people keep you keep talking about the fact that is Dhoni built up too much as captain? Even when things happen, when other players do them, Dhoni's given credit. 2 things. One, of course, is that. It's the groundwork that he's laid. It's been 14 years to the day, in fact, today, that he won that he lifted that World Cup trophy, isn't it? It's 14 years to the day. So there's a lot of groundwork, even in that Chennai team, that's been laid, which pays off now. Is that fair to say, Michael? Is that his captaincy is not just on the day, on the delivery, but is also an amalgamation of just all the groundwork done and the culture and the cool heads that reach this point, that reach that delivery being bowled?
Yeah, culture. I'm a big believer. Culture is a key in any dressing room or franchise or test match team. It's about delivering that culture for that format. You look at what Virat Kohli's done in the test match side for India. Remarkable, that energy and that aggression that India play with, and that backs to the wall style. You can write us off, we'll always prove you wrong style mentality. And it works in test cricket. What MS Dhoni has done in white ball cricket has been remarkable in terms of, there's that calmness that he must create around his group. I think if you get into that group, Sam Curran's not played today, but I know from Sam back here in the UK that he feels very much a part of the Chennai family. Moeen Ali already feels very much a part of the Chennai family. I think if they let you in, you're in. He's just one of those. If MS Dhoni allows you to the party, you're staying all night with MS. He's not going to say to you at 2 a.m. you've got to go home. You know, you're in his little group that he wants to be around you, and he's going to be committed to you. He's going to give you lots of opportunities. And I think, you know, even when it doesn't go well, I don't think he panics. I don't think he says too much. I think he just goes back to the training ground, does a little bit, and just says, right, we'll go again. And we'll try and outthink the opposition, outsmart the other team, try and get our decisions right, try and be unpredictable. If you try and predict what Chennai are going to do as an opposing team, I think it's near on impossible because we haven't got a clue. You know, the opposition don't really know. So it's very difficult to play against a side that's very unpredictable. It's a smart way of playing T20 cricket.
So they're playing to their strengths.
He told me once at the end of one of the tournaments at a presentation, I'm just around whatever, and he said, I'll tell you what I like the most about this season for Chennai. He said, we had a lot of senior players in the squad who are not getting a game. And yet the atmosphere in the dressing room was fantastic. And sometimes when you've got senior players in your group and they're not getting a game, it can get a little cancerous around there. You know, each person sort of trying to protect his own, not getting a game. I'm a big player. But what he said about say Sam Curran has not played today, or Moeen Ali is going in at number 3. I think at the start of the season, Moeen Ali would know exactly what his role this year in Chennai is. Dwayne Bravo said to me once, he said, I love playing there because I know exactly what is expected of me. I said to him when he first moved to Chennai, I said, you were batting 5, 6. Now you're batting sort of 7, 8 down the order. He said, I know what captain wants of me. If I deliver that, that's fine. And I think that is a culture that he creates. It's equivalent. I know people will say you don't follow football much. You keep bringing football examples. Why did people want to go and play under Ferguson at United? Because they wanted to become better players. I think there's a lot of people wanting to come to Chennai, play with Dhoni because they want to become better players, just understand this game very well.
Michael Vaughan is still doing that with Sir Alex, isn't he? He's still doing
that.
I
played golf with Sir Alex yesterday. He did make me a better golfer.
But you know, can't bend science now, Vonnie, can he? Right?
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, the last time I saw Michael play golf, he putted in of I don't know what the score was at that point, but he putted in the shot or whatever that allowed them to win the Pro-Am. It's all over the net. Michael Vaughan's putting it and going like that, like he scored a goal in the FA Cup final.
Yeah. Did you? Was that you?
Yes. Yeah. That was me. That was me. It wasn't my double.
I'm going to have to see some video proof of this, Mr. Vaughan. I'm going to have to see some video proof.
I'll send it you now on WhatsApp.
Please do. And while he does that, let's have a look at what the bowlers did for Bangalore. Not a good power play for them.
Is there any other program where on a program, one person's telling another, I'm just sending you something on WhatsApp. It's supposed to be one cricket analysis.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm WhatsApping, I'm ordering food, I'm answering doorbells. Let's be multitaskers. It's the new world now.
And I'm cooking a roast.
He's cooking a roast, having a little drink on the side. Oops.
But that's what cricket is. Cricket's fun.
Of course, it's meant to be, right? It's entertaining. Wasn't fun for the Bangalore bowlers, though, today.
No.
Definitely not fun in the power play. They went for 59 in the power play. There were 2 wickets there for Harshal Patel, who's maintaining his position there. He's got that purple cap firmly on his head. But, well, I guess he'd probably trade that like most bowlers would, or most batsmen do, the orange cap for a win. They didn't get the win today. He did pick up the 2 wickets. 1 wicket for Chahal. He's the one who started things off. Maxwell went and got another one. But really sort of slim pickings for them. And I don't know, well, Hasaranga, 4 overs 40. As Harsha said, he will realize this is a very different stage, a much, much bigger stage, but really not much there for the Bangalore bowlers. We're going to jump to the points table because there's a bit of jumping. Oh, there's a bit of jumping going on there, Michael. It's a bit of jumping because... it's good, huh? That accent's good. That's good. Jump in. Chennai jump in over Delhi because they're at 14 points. But there you go. There's that net run rate that comes in again. And it's double. It's almost double Delhi. So Delhi's going to be looking at that and saying, listen, we're a dominating team. But at this point in time, these precision surgeons have got double the net run rate that we have. And Harsha, 1 or 2 points, that can make a difference. Let's say some other team overtakes them. Right now, it's looking unlikely. It's looking like Chennai and Delhi qualify 1 and 2. But you got 5 games left. if somebody goes over them and they're tied with points, they also want to get up there with the net run rate. I'm sure it's a bit of an ego issue as well.
Look at Rajasthan. Rajasthan are playing tomorrow. Rajasthan
Yeah.
win tomorrow. Where are they on the table? Their net run rate's better than Bangalore. Rajasthan win tomorrow. They're number 3.
Yeah. Ooh,
So
that's
you know what we said at the start when the second leg started? We said, there's 4 teams at the top. Kolkata's gone, Rajasthan's gone, everyone's gone. And I think it was you said it, or I don't know who said it, that there's something about this tournament that you never know what's going to happen. There's always a churn. Tomorrow, if Rajasthan gets to 3, that is as big a churn as any you will see.
Can I tell you something? And I copy this line from myself every year because it happens without fail, and it's happened for a dozen years. Midway through the tournament, and this time it was kind of cut with a knife, right? Midway, right? We started with a 30th game. Midway in the tournament, you look at the table and you go, 4 have run away, 4 are staying behind. And just like that, chaos reigns, mid-table muddles happen, somebody leapfrogs over somebody else, and you come down to the last day of the league phase to decide at least 1, if not 2 positions of who's going to finish where. And of course,
But you know why that is?
Yes.
That is, at the start of this tournament, there was one decision that they took, which has been the lifeline of this league, which is equalization of purses. Which is that every team, any team on any day, they might be down, but they've got the players to win it on any day. So suddenly tomorrow, a Liam Livingston or Evan Lewis might just go berserk and win the game because every team has a player who can, on his day, turn around and win the game for you. That equalization of purses has made this a great tournament.
Yeah. Michael, you want to send that message from us to the English Premier League? Just send it from us.
Liverpool looking strong.
Well, I mean,
Liverpool
come on.
and Chelsea.
It's very early days. I mean, Chelsea.
By the way,
looking
that
really
just
strong.
forget the Premier League at the minute because Chelsea are going to win it. I think. I don't like to give you some bad news. Mumbai, just look at Mumbai and Rajasthan. We've mentioned Rajasthan, but Mumbai and that league table would have been celebrating tonight. So I think if RCB had got to 12, it's only really one place that you're mixing realistically for that 4th spot. I think it's brought a few more into the equation with Chennai winning tonight. You almost want Delhi and Chennai to keep winning, and it's down to those next 2
All
spots.
6 teams. All 6 teams, in fact, whenever Delhi and Chennai will play, will be rooting for Delhi or Chennai because they're like, you're out of reach, you're out of the stratosphere, so let them go. Keep everybody down there because everybody wants to be in that mid-table muddle, right? They want to be in that
Hyderabad is
mud
struggling.
fight.
Hyderabad is struggling, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're struggling.
Yeah, that's a very polite way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're struggling. But listen, again, as to Harsha's point, Harsha Hyderabadi, to his point, they have the team. Too much, I say. But they've got the team, right? They've got the team to get the win. They've got the team to string together 4-5 wins. They do.
Oh, देखो next game next team. Sorry, Michael, that's how we talk in Hyderabad. That's our lingo. Where we shake our heads and talk.
Every time. Michael, every time Harsha speaks like that, all you have to say is chai chand biscuit.
Chai chand biscuit.
Biscuit.
That's right.
Biscuit is
chai
biscuit.
biscuit. Am I swearing now?
No. We wouldn't do that on this program. Biscuit colloquially becomes biscuit. So it's biscuit. And chand is the moon. So the biscuit in the shape of a moon. And tea.
Chai
Tea
is
with
chai.
the biscuit that you dip in. So chai, chand biscuit. You get it there.
Chai chand
biscuit.
Yeah.
There you
Chai
go.
chand biscuit.
Yeah.
See?
Chai chand biscuit. What?
We're all jumping. We're all jumping for some chai chand biscuit. Yeah, we are. It's a mix of everything. 2 games tomorrow. Double headers coming your way. We haven't had one yet. So there you go. We've got double header happening tomorrow. Saturday, it's Delhi and Rajasthan. Well, this game, Rajasthan is not cheering for Delhi. I'll just take what I said back a little while ago. But the other teams are. So Delhi play Rajasthan. And of course, that's happening at Abu Dhabi. That's the first game. And of course, the second game shows up with Hyderabad in it as well, which is going to be match 37. And they play against Punjab. Let's talk about the first game. First, it's Delhi and Rajasthan. Let's have a look at the Delhi team. Of course, for Delhi, the main concern, the only concern, the primary concern would, of course, be the injury to Marcus Stoinis. Pulled up at the time. Calf, was it, Harsha? Is that what they said? Calf?
Yeah,
Hammy?
but these teams are such good physios that at most you might,
Yeah.
I mean, unless he's torn something, they put you back on the ground. You might miss one game here and there. but they've got so many options in that Delhi side that they won't actually miss one player. So who can they play instead of
straight Tom Curran? If you want a like for like, you get. I mean, maybe Tom Curran.
Could be.
Because you
Tom
need
Curran
the
is
overs.
More bowler than batsman. They might say, look, we've got 5 really good bowlers. Let's go with Steve Smith and get him to bowl 1 over of leg spin if required. They could go with a pure batsman.
Lalit Yadav as well.
They could just go Lalit Yadav and play only 3 overseas players.
Yeah.
They've got a strong squad. That's a strong squad.
Abundance of riches.
That's Ricky Ponting going to sleep at night, not worried. He's quite happy with whatever combination they decide upon, and he deserves a lot of credit for the way that he's got Delhi playing. I think they're a tremendous side now.
I actually didn't get we spoke about that a lot during the curtain raiser, but Michael, want to ask you as well, because you talk about Ricky Ponting. He's a friend who's been a foe. He's a friend, someone you know well, someone you've operated with. You know the culture there. What did you make of Shreyas Iyer coming back, but the captaincy staying with Rishabh Pant?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Ricky's doing at Delhi is creating a culture that everyone leads. I think that's what he likes to develop a team that he's got all leaders. They're all thinking about the game. They're all smart and clever on the game. That's what I see with Chennai tonight. They're all clever players, and I think that's what Ricky's trying to develop at Delhi. So it's almost irrelevant who the captain on the pitch is, because everyone can have an input. Everyone can have a say, and the captain at that time, and it's Rishabh Pant, will make the final decision. But I don't think in a Ricky Ponting team, the captain of the T20 team is the be-all and end-all. I think he expects everyone to think like a captain. That's what Australia did for many, many years. Obviously, he was at the head of the side as a captain. But, you go back to Steve Waugh's days and Mark Taylor, they all seem to think like captains, the Australians, when they're playing well. And, you look at what Ricky has done in his career, what he's doing at Delhi. He's been a part of Mumbai, so he knows how a strong franchise system works. And I think he's taken a bit of what happened at Mumbai, and he's travelled to Delhi and tried to deliver a similar kind of principle, and it seems to be working.
Normally, principles from Mumbai don't do well in Delhi, but talking about politically, of course, but cricket-wise, it seems to be working. But Harsha, just to stay on this point for just a second, because we don't know how many retentions there will be, because 2 new teams will be coming in. So obviously, they will be opposed to too many retentions, because then, the best players go away. But let's say you go with even, the least two retentions, the 2 they're retaining, Delhi, would be Shreyas and Rishabh. Yeah. So let's say Shreyas and Rishabh are the 2 that you're definitely retaining. Then who do you make captain the next season or for the next 3 years?
But Shreyas has the option of saying, I don't want to be retained. Remember, you're not forced to be retained. If you say, right, if I'm retained, I'm probably going to get X. But if I go into the auction, I might get 1.3, 1.5x,
Yeah.
So they have the option of not being retained. So if Shreyas doesn't want to be retained, do you take a punt on Shikhar Dhawan, for example? He's had 6 great seasons, but how much longer does he have? Do you buy him back in the auction at whatever price? Do you say, oh, hang on, so Rabada's a good player. Do I punt on Rabada? So they've got a bit of they've got Prithvi Shaw. They've got a bit of thinking to do, but it's a wonderfully assembled side. So tomorrow, Ravichandran Ashwin is injured. They pick Amit Mishra, right?
Yeah.
So it's
if there's no Avesh Khan, you've got Ishant Sharma. Yeah.
There's Umesh Yadav has just come back bowling so well in the Test match. He's just sitting around over there. So they've got loads to pick from. It's a very well constructed side. It's the first time they did really well in the auction. Chennai had a great auction the first time around, and they lived off that for a long time. And I think for 3 years, Delhi have lived off it. I'm not a great fan of suddenly forcing people to change everything in 3 years, because all your good deeds are gone then. So hopefully that will change in course of time. But tomorrow, if Rajasthan somehow can beat Delhi, that is going to be a huge result. It'll just turn the table topsy-turvy.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they have to do that auction now because 2 new teams are coming in. But let's just hope that that's the last one, because you don't want these teams to be jumbled again and again. It changes affiliations, it changes cultures, it changes so many things. It's really not the way that leagues are run. But hey, still a young league, just 13, 14 years old. So it'll definitely find its feet. Rajasthan. What's going to happen with Rajasthan tomorrow? Let's have a look at that team. Well, there you go. Great stuff from Evan Lewis, Yashasvi Jaiswal. Teams looking all right, Michael.
Yeah, I don't have them as one of the strongest groups, but they've got a lot of talent. As Harsha mentioned earlier, they've got players that on their day can win a game of T20 on their own. A Livingston, a Lewis, fantastic strikers of a ball. I just wonder, they've just won a game that they shouldn't have won. And that can really galvanise you as a team. When you win a game where you're out of it, you've got no chance, and all of a sudden you win it, you can get a lot of momentum and a lot of really inner belief of winning the tight game. So I just wonder, particularly playing a side like Delhi, who are hot favourites. Forget that Rajasthan have won the last game. Whoever Delhi play at the minute, they seem to have that mechanism of playing good, smart cricket, very similar to Chennai. So Delhi are favourites, but I'm interested to see how much of a lift that's given the Rajasthan players from winning that game for nothing, really. I'm intrigued to see whether. So I think they'll have to raise the game again. I don't think they'll play to a similar standard and beat Delhi. I think they'll have to be better with the bat. I think they'll have to be smart. They're brilliant with the ball at the end, but I think they'll have to play a smarter game for the 40 overs to beat a Delhi side. But they've got threats. They've got threats, but I don't have them as winning the IPL this year with that group of players. I have to be honest.
I want to just ask you one question. Actually, I don't need to ask you that question, because if you go through, whenever Michael Vaughan has spoken about England players, the one that he's been most bullish about in the last 12 months is old LL, Liam Livingston, right? You were speaking, you were talking about him a lot. I think before we saw him, obviously the summer was kind of his summer, big internationally, domestically, everything. I think, could this be the season when IPL fans figure out the brilliance?
It could. I watch him a lot, and I've seen him, obviously huge amount over here, but I do think he's got the game and the swagger to potentially be one of the next group of superstars in T20 cricket. I really believe, if you look at what Glenn Maxwell's done in T20 cricket over the years, gone for huge amounts of money. I think he's got it in him to be the similar kind of player over the next 5 or 6 years, because he bowls a bit. He bowls leg spin, off spin, brilliant fielder, and he just crashes the ball, and he can bat anywhere. He can bat anywhere in that top six. I really do think he could be a special player. He hasn't done it yet, and he hasn't done it consistently at the highest level, but I do think he has got a game that potentially could do it consistently for a long period of time.
Harsha, Liam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've only seen a little bit of him. Obviously, I've not seen as much as Michael has. What this tournament does is, in a way, it puts you to the grind. It exposes you to so many different situations. Some days, a bit like Ruturaj Gaikwad in the game against Mumbai, you're last man standing and you've got to take the team home against quality bowling. So it throws you into so many situations. Someday like today, like Rayudu, all you want is a 30 of 20 balls. So at the end of this season, we'll have a very good idea, because I think Livingston will have been put through 3 or 4 different situations in these next few games. To me, the big plus for Rajasthan was 2 young players, Mahipal Lomror and Kartik Tyagi. So at 5 and 6, they were always struggling. Should we play Shivam Dubey, Riyan Parag? Who should we play? Suddenly, Mahipal Lomror is coming. I don't know what he's done in the break. He's a bigger guy. He's hitting the ball much further. So, and they've got another left-hander in the top 6. So I think Mahipal Lomror and Kartik Tyagi at the death. Those are the 2 big pluses for Rajasthan. But Michael's spot on.
Yeah.
If you want to beat that Delhi side, they'll have to play better, because they really got out of jail. It was 8 of 2 overs with 8 wickets in hand. So it was a fairy tale. Don't happen every day.
And it happened for them that day, and I don't know if it was a fairy tale for them, a nightmare for Punjab, a nightmare that they have to recover from real quick, because they are playing the second game tomorrow, and Hyderabad will be hoping to ride on that nightmare and extend it for Punjab. Let's have a look at the Punjab team real quick. And Harsha, do you see any changes happening over here?
What I do know is that
the answer is yes. Just like you say Chennai doesn't do any changes, you say Punjab safe to see yes.
What I do know is that everybody's supporting Hyderabad in this game, because Punjab is they've got 3 wins there, right? Just as in the previous game, everybody's supporting Delhi, except Rajasthan themselves. Everyone want Delhi to win. But they played a peculiar team. They played Fabian Allen as a pure batsman at 6. He didn't bowl a ball. But what it meant was that after 6, there was no batting left. And so the top 6 will have to adjust to the fact that there is no batting left. So they might make that little change, because, they didn't bowl Fabian Allen. They thought there's too many left-handers batting, which is different way of looking at it. But their top 3, 4 are fantastic. They now need to get more force down. And what about Chris Gale? How can you keep Chris Gayle out of the side any longer. He's got a good record there. Will they play Markram again? They played Markram because he gives you a little bit of off spin too. But Gayle is Gayle.
He got 2 half centuries last year when they played in Sharjah. He got there was RCB and KKR. He got a 53 of 45 and then a 51 of 29 against Kolkata. That was 12 months ago when they were playing in Sharjah. They're playing this game in Sharjah as well. And good point, Harsha. Good point, Michael, that Harsha makes about how long can you keep Chris Gayle out?
Well, I would say if you're not playing Chris Gayle in Sharjah, where's he going to play?
Yeah.
If you're not going to roll out the universe boss on a postage stamp on a decent pitch, where realistically you're thinking about playing him. I think Chris Gayle it's remarkable that he's still playing to the level. With the amount that he's played, the age that he's at. But Punjab are a funny team. I don't quite get the mechanism. I don't like the formula. I don't like this top-heady bat and then nothing really in the middle. I don't fear too many of their bowlers. When I look at them, I don't fear too many of them. I actually don't think they're a great team. I'll be honest with you. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they've got that great a squad. I think if you can muddle up an 11 from that squad and it be competitive, I think they've done really well to do that, because I just think they're not as good as some of the other squads.
Adil Rashid, because I remember you tweeting out saying it's about time Adil Rashid gets a gig in the IPL. I honestly thought that he wouldn't get a chance because this is a team that has Ravi Bishnoi, who's done well, young cricketer. They've got Murugan Ashwin. You thought that Adil Rashid would not play. He did play that day. But, what did you make of him that day? Because he went for a few.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think you can judge a player on a one-off game. I think you've got to see him over 4 or 5 games, and hopefully, I mean, if I'm playing him in every game just to try and find out about him, and he's a wonderful bowler. I have him right up there with Rashid Khan in terms of leg spin in the white ball format. So in international cricket, what he's done for England in T20 and 50 overs has been remarkable. You take Adil Rashid out of an England white ball team, and I think they're a lot less a team. Yeah. I think he's one of the players that can't be replaced in the England squad. We've got nothing quite like him. Matt Parkinson's not bad. Bowls a little bit slower, but Adil Rashid for England has been phenomenal. It does surprise me that it's taken Adil so long to get in the IPL. And I have every confidence that over the next few games, he'll prove his worth. And with 2 extra teams next year, I'll be staggered if he doesn't go for quite a few quid in the next round of auctions.
The only question is, do they need a Chris Jordan, for example? Do they need that other experienced seam bowling option? So if you look at the Punjab side again, let's see what they could do is, if they have to get Chris Jordan in, he's got to come either for Fabian Allen or for Adil Rashid. And who did they had the spinner last time? They had Harpreet Brar, the left arm spinner.
Yes.
So they have Harpreet Brar, they have Fabian Allen, they have Adil Rashid, all turn it the same way. And in terms of pace, they played Ishan Porel, Arshdeep Singh, and Shami. If they think Ishan Porel is a little too inexperienced, they need Chris Jordan instead of Ishan Porel, then that might make life a little difficult for Adil Rashid, because they could then play Bishnoi in place of Adil Rashid. If either of them batted, then Fabian Allen's place was in doubt. But look at this. This is a side where there are no all-rounders. Can you have Chris Jordan batting at 6? I'm not so sure you can have him batting at 6. So it's a slightly imbalanced side.
Yeah, it's an imbalanced squad, and you're seeing that imbalance happen on the field as well when the 11 go down. But more than anything else, Punjab fans will be hoping that their openers or their most prolific batting pair, their most prolific batters, they're hoping that the openers don't get a century stand. That's right. You heard it right. They're hoping that the openers don't get a century stand. All right, let's have a look at the Hyderabad team. They have no such problems. They're not winning games. They had a leadership problem. They had a leadership issue, which has been sorted out. Kane Williamson has been handed the captaincy. They have all-rounders. They have many dimensions of players, Harsha. They've got a bit of everything. And now, in a way, like Johnny Best was a great player, but him not coming may just be a blessing in disguise, because now they can add a holder / nubby in that kind of number 6 position, which has been a problematic for them. And now that gets sorted.
They're a bit like some of my jackets. So very fashionable 2 years ago, but now you look like you're wearing an old one. So a lot of that team was very good 2 or 3 years ago. But at the moment, you look at that fast bowling here. There's
that's
Bhuvi.
funny.
Now
Yeah.
Natarajan's gone. Khalil is just a hit or miss. If you look, in mathematics, there's a principle of one variable determining the rest of the properties. You call it the discriminant variable. There's one variable that tells you what's happening. David Warner is that person. David Warner has lifted that side year upon year upon year upon year. Warner's down, Hyderabad is down. I think there's a leading indicator there. Warner does well, Hyderabad does well. Warner's struggling, Hyderabad is struggling. So for them to get back or even upset some of the teams, they need David Warner to come back or find a David Warner equivalent to play that role. Because otherwise,
Jason Roy.
Harsha, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, what kind of jacket was David Warner? I'm intrigued to know the colour, the shape. What kind of jacket was he? Because whatever the jacket was 2 years ago, it's not in trend at the minute.
No,
what was it? Did it have a hood? Cagoule? I don't know. What was it?
Maybe
I'll tell you the line that I have. It's called Gucci from Gurgaon. I make a Gucci from Gurgaon line. I think he was definitely more fashionable than that. But Harsha, I mean, here's outlandish suggestion. It may seem to people, but it's happened, right? They did drop Warner. They took the captaincy away from him. You have a Jason Roy there, and as we've seen, Jason Roy he's a gun opening batsman.
Yeah, but he's
one of the greats. Think that?
Yeah, Warner's one of the greats of this tournament. They've dropped him. Yeah. They've brought him back. Right? They dropped him from the side. Now they've brought him back. There's no best, so they brought Warner back. But the moment they bring Warner back, you can't tell him, sorry, we saw you for 3 balls and you were not good enough. So they've got to give Warner another game. The question is, do they play Roy for holder? And do they back their Indian batting? Because they struggle in the middle order. And that's why they had a seam bowler who could bat in holder. Can they say, we'll go with Roy instead of holder, and I'll back my Indian bowling contingent, Rashid Khan and the other Indian bowlers, to deliver the job for me. And then I go back like Warner and Bairstow. I've got Warner and Roy.
Then where's Ridhiman Saha batting then?
Wherever.
Right?
I mean, you can't say that I'm leaving out a good player because my other player can't.
No, fair enough. I know. I'm just like playing devil's advocate here and just saying. No, why do you?
There's Williamson 3, Manish Pandey 4. He could maybe come in at 5. And with a mandate to just go for it.
Yep.
So, there's a good enough squad there for them to be more competitive. They've just had one of those seasons that's just not been right. They've just some, and they've got to carry on playing David Warner. He's got to be given a license to go out there and attack. I'm intrigued with David Warner, where he is in his career. He feels and whispers and rumours that, in the winter, it could be his last Ashes series. And when you start, I was talking about Virat earlier, once you give something away, you just lose that edge. And if the whispers and rumours are true that this could be his last Ashes series, you've given something away. You just lose that little bit of edge in your game. So I'm intrigued to see how Warner comes back from that. Anyone can get a naught, so I wouldn't worry too much about his first innings of this second stage of the IPL. But I am intrigued by his mind of where he's at in his career.
I'll tell you something. There's been many times in the history of fashion, being a purveyor of haute couture myself, I'll tell you, there's many times in the history of fashion that trends come back, right?
Yes.
Oh, so I should get my old jackets out again.
You really should.
Yeah, get them all back.
Yeah. I'll tell you something about Harsha, Michael. Harsha still fits into his jackets from 2 decades ago. This is just him showing off. Still does. So do you, I think. I'm sure you do as well. I do as well.
Squeeze into them.
Yeah. I fit into pretty much my diapers. I mean, I really do. I do. It's just the reason why I say that is because I just got reminded what Veeru Sehwag said on the Hindi show when I asked him, how many changes do you think Punjab will make in the game tomorrow? And he said, you can never predict what Punjab does. They seem to change players more than babies change diapers. I don't know how it just... Yeah, so that's why it just came into my mind. Well, a lot of you had to change your diapers after you saw the joy factor question because of excitement. Excitement. What else? If Vijay Hazare is the first Indian to achieve this and Sunil Gavaskar the second, who is the latest? 1 second. Before we give the answer away, do you both want to hazard a guess? Anyone?
Hazare was the first Indian to score 100 in each innings in Adelaide back 47-48. He scored 100 in each innings. Then Sunil Gavaskar scored 100 in each innings, 1971. He did it thrice, actually, but Gavaskar did it 71. I'm trying to think who else scored 100 in each innings. And I think Rohit Sharma might have scored 100 in each innings against South Africa. I think so.
Oh, There you go.
You.
There you go.
Well,
And that's very good.
That's knowledge.
That's very good. Harsha, don't say anything. Just look. Just look regal now. Just look regal.
That deserves a jacket. That deserves a new jacket to be made for that.
Augusta Masters jacket.
The green jacket of the Masters. You should have some kind of Joy jacket made.
Talking of which, has the blue come back on the screen, or is it still all red?
No, I've just seen all red again. I'm not even looking.
Don't. We're talking about golf again. We do this on the show. We go from golf, we go football, we'll go. Michael's a big Kabaddi fan as well. He may just give us some updates there. Massive Kabaddi fans. You never know.
Massive Kabaddi fan.
And I just want to tell you that Joy has not given the answer to Harsha. It'd be really funny if Joy just popped into your screen right now and started waving. But no, he has not given him the answer. Harsha Bhogle does not need answers. He's not just the voice of cricket. He's also the hard drive of cricket. He's got all the information stored. Who got this correct? Who was the first person? Who was the one who fired in the question correct? Tanmay Chakrabarti. You've seen that name before. I think Tanmay has won some stuff here. So there you go. Tanmay. Yeah.
He's been there before,
Yeah,
it's popular winner.
Well done, Chakrabarti. Chakrabarti seem to be doing well at this time of the year. So well done to you.
Can you hurry up because my roast might be burned?
Go away, Michael. The roast is in.
I'm slightly concerned.
Sorry, gentlemen, the Vaughan household can no longer give you dinner because you burned his roast.
We need to roast Michael Vaughan for 5 minutes for this. Just for this.
We'll be eating leather flip flops at this rate.
Okay,
right.
what's the fastest throw, Gautam? Gaurav, come on, fastest throw to a.
Oh yeah, really? Just as I call you the hard drive of cricket, you call me Gautam. Right?
No,
just as I do that. Great timing. All right, we're not going to flip flop around a lot more. We're going to say good night because we're going to come back tomorrow. Remember at 2:50 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So that's when we're going to be here in English as well as in Hindi. Just want to tell you a real quick reminder to sign up to Cricbuzz Plus, subscribe or sign up to it for exclusive ad-free content. A big thank you to Michael Vaughan, our roaster-in-chief this evening. Thank you so much for being here. And a big thank you to Mr. Harsha Bhogle.
Hurry up, he's worried about his roast.
Yeah.
Put a broccoli in for him, please. By the way, you can just
in there.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be like.
You can just leave. I'll sign off. Do the paperwork. I'll finish up.
I want to see you sign off.
Turn the chairs around. Just put them on the table like that. Just shut the restaurant. I'll do that. I'll put the lights off. Yeah, so no worries. I'm going to do that. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, that's all we have time for on Cricbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11th Circle. Man. Thank you to Michael Vaughan, Harsha Bhogle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Put in the lights, shut in the restaurant. Police is here.